Look at that, completely gone. This is a result of you being naughty. Let me tell you what happens if you play a too aggressive camber, if you like doing toe out on your front tire.
Hey guys, you know I'm super loyal to the XPEL brand because since 2021, I installed them onto my Porsche Boxer Spyder. I'm super impressed, so all my cars are protected by XPEL. The PPF really protects your car. I trashed it on B roads, on road trips, I abuse it, I take it to the track, and it still protects my car, and while maintaining that nice glossy look. I love the window tints. Insane clarity while keeping me nice and cool in the car. Love their coating. It makes my car look nice and sleek all year round, and the best part is it's easy to keep your car clean with the ceramic coating. I want to give a big shout out to XPEL because they have been a great support and sponsor to our channel. So please guys, support XPEL by checking out their products and services in the link in the description below. Protect everything you love with XPEL. I don't know if you can hear that. People are like literally cheering me on. Something about sports cars, right? It puts a smile on some people's faces, so that's special.
This is my PS4S N-Spec, the front tires. You can see the inner camber is completely gone. And this one's, look at that, completely gone. So while everything else here on the outside looks pretty okay. In fact, I think if you even look at this, there's still quite some threads going on. This is a result of you being naughty, doing toe out and aggressive inner cambers, right? So these guys have to go. It's been with me for more than a year. One enduro, many morning drives, a few road trips. So it's time to say goodbye to these tires. The rear are the ones I pick up for enduro. These ones are also PS4S. This N-Spec, which is Porsche spec. This one is a Mercedes spec because it's the only one I can get. But it's giving me traction issues because, you know, they're different compounds. People who say that N-Spec is just marketing things is really different. Just take a look at this, look at that. There's like no threads here. The compound feels different and the compound here feels so different. So unfortunately I got to let go of all of this because I don't want to have two different sets of different brands. So I'm going to do a little review on how it feels like driving the new Continental CSC7 from a Michelin owner. I never tried Continentals, but you know, everyone says so. They highly praise this tire, so you know what, let's give it a shot. Okay, so the notable difference will be doing 275s on the rear, so we're going to go 1 cm wider, and the front we're going to run 245s because my car does have a little bit of power, extra power due to the tune. So well, let's get a little bit more rubber. I know that there's so many good things that it's worth trying, but being a hardcore Michelin fan, I love the design of Michelin. Conti's one are okay, but you know, I miss the whole satin feel, right? There's this contrast satin feel from Michelin. Yeah, don't have that anymore. We'll give these tires a shot. They're not N-Specs because they don't have any N-Spec. The rear, the front looks okay, right? But the rear just somehow feels a bit more rounded on the sidewalls, but I guess that's alright. Expecting it to be a bit more squarish, but I guess that's the nature of these tires, not very squarish, alright? So I'm going to get them aligned. Maybe we are going to reduce the toe out, reduce the camber a little bit, let it last a little bit longer. Let's see how this goes, and then we're going to do a drive up thing to see if these tires are as good as they say. Alright, here we are. The most underrated part of getting a car set up, changing your tires, is actually your alignment. Here with T-Align, where I do all my alignments, so I decided to get my tires here anyways. We're going to get this car, the camber adjusted. So previously I used to run negative 2.5 on the rear, which is quite aggressive, but now we're going to go with negative 2, so it's going to be less camber. And then the front, usually I used to do negative 2, we're going to go down to like negative 1.5. Given that I got solid state mounts, it should hold the camber better, right? So those are notable difference with the handling, you know, given that I'm going to give a little review on the car. So those things are worth noting. Less camber, less toe out, toe neutral, taking into consideration of the handling.
1 week later.
Good morning everyone, we are here at Chin Swee Temple with my Spyder, and we have the new Continental SportContact 7. Right, so I've been very reluctant to try these new sets of tires because I'm super comfortable with Michelin. By the way, there's a beautiful 987 Spyder. Congrats to Adrian. I want to do a video to give you the review of the SC7 from loyal Michelin user. Right, so now let's jump in the car and head downhill and talk a little bit more about the Conti Sport 7. Right, I'll start by saying this. The new tires are actually really good. I'm so impressed by the SportContact 7, which will come in the details. Talk about the details in a moment. I want to talk about, share why I actually swapped out of Michelin Michelin into Continentals. Alright, so I've always been using N-spec tires and I love them. The N-spec means the Porsche spec tires on the Pilot Sport 4S. I was on the N-spec tires and for me it was my favorite. But the only downside to the N-spec tires is that it can be a little bit more noisy. It is harsher than the normal PS4S. But of course it's tuned for more, or rather constructed for more performance for a Porsche. Now the problem about the N-spec tires, they are actually really pricey, right? So give you an example, my front two tires, if I were to swap them, they are size of 235, 35, 20. And those will cost me 1,600 ringgit, right? And with the Conti SportContact 7, I upsize to 245, it's just 1,050. So it is a 600 ringgit difference, right? So first of all, the price is so enticing, it's so much cheaper. And given I'm going to do all 4 tires, an average savings per tire is around 600 ringgit. That easily goes to 2,400 ringgit worth of savings. Well, if you're using US dollars, it's like 500 US dollars of savings. So, I say, you know what, let's just, for whatever downside I might get out of the swapping from PS4S to here, is immediately like, if there is any downside, it's immediately justified by the price, right? So that's the reason I went for it, okay? So can you hear that? All these rumble strips is so comfortable. Book, 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 book. It's soaking up everything. So the first thing I noticed immediately after getting the Sport Contact 7, my car feels like a new car. It's so quiet. Comfort-wise, if I knew how comfortable these tires were, I would have gone with these tires to Evo Enduro, right? This will probably be the best, in my opinion now, after trying this, best touring tire for a sports car, right? So that is amazing. Now, does it sacrifice its sportiness when it comes to that? Actually, this is where it gets really tricky. So there's an objective element of why these tires are so good, but it's also a subjective element which I don't quite like about these tires. Dry grip, fantastic, brilliant. And when it gets hot, it's so sticky. It's like glue, right? It almost feels cup 2-ish when it's hot. It's ridiculous, right? The kind of speed you can turn into corners, the kind of grip you get out of the corner is really good. But then the more I drive, there is a bit of an unnerving feeling, right? So first of all, the steering, at first it's very direct. I can point and then the car goes. But for some reason, the feedback, the more you turn, in the Michelin, when you turn, you get this rubbery progressive feel, like the steering is being stretched. So you kind of can feel how much stress the tire is taking through the steering. But with the SC7, it doesn't have that same kind of feeling, right? So that's the best way to describe it. But on the limit, and I think it's because it's too soft, the stability isn't there. So the grip is there, but there's a bit of wobbliness at the limit. So provided you don't go like 9 out of 10 or 8.5 out of 10, then the tires are pretty okay. But when you do, it just doesn't give that stability. Grip is there. The grip is absolutely there. It means the tire will just claw in. Yeah, so I want to be very clear what I mean by these two things. Grip is there, stability on the limit isn't quite there. So that's the thing I really noticed in the dry grip. As a result, you gotta just deal with the little bit of instability, and I think it's because the sidewalls are soft. I don't know how to explain it, but a lot of other users, I just spoke to some of them in an Evo club there. I also noticed that my upper sidewall, where the Continental SportContact was, the upper sidewall starts to get a little bit of, wear, So that goes to show how soft it is. It starts to eat into even to the wall, right? So that could be the reason why. But other than that, I have no complaints. It is very good. You can really push the car, right? Just have to manage that part of it. But I won't say it's a complete deal breaker, right? It's not a deal breaker. And given the price and the performance, it's really good. The second thing is the wet grip, okay? So I haven't driven this yet in like pouring rain, which happens in Malaysia a lot. It's been quite dry lately, and the nature of my Spyder is that I always drive it in weathers like this. This is Spyder weather, right? But I've driven it in a couple of damp roads, and when it's damp, I think the compound matters more than the construction of the tread patterns. Very good. Yeah, very confident, very good. In fact, I think it's better than Michelin in terms of its wet grip, its wet feel. So a lot of confidence in the wet, which is another plus. And I think it's just a great tire. If given the choice, which one would I pick? I still like the PS4S N-Spec for its progressiveness, where when you're at the limit and when you're trying to get the tail to lose out a little bit, there's a lot of confidence in driving at and over the limit, in my opinion. That's the N-Spec tire. My preference will be that, right? Grip, I think this one is better, right? It's way better in terms of its grip. Now, it's not really a fair comparison too, because there's no N-Spec Continental SC7. So probably if there is, it's probably better, but there isn't. So there's no, you got to keep that in mind as well. For me, I would just go for the N-Spec again in the future if I were to swap out the tires. But again, given the price, it's so good, the price. So, you know, I might come back to SportContact 7, right? Now, the other thing is the tread wear. I'm not sure how long it will last, but a lot of feedback from my friends say that it doesn't last that long, especially when you drive hard. Now, another tire that I'm really curious about is the Pirelli PZ5, the P0 PZ5, and which also is the reason why I've decided to opt for the SportContact 7, because if this tire doesn't turn out to be as nice as I want to, and I swap over mid-life of this tire to PZ5, will be okay, because it's not that expensive. The thing about the PS4S is that it's kind of old, isn't it? The technology is like, when did it launch? 2016? I'm really hoping for PS5 to show up for my car, but it's yet to have any news or whatsoever, so let's hope that comes in the future. But otherwise, overall summary, this is a good tire. You can't go wrong with the SC7 if you're looking for a good set of UUH ultra high performance tires. In fact, it probably is better for most people. If it's a general population who are not pushing the car like crazy, you know, they want something that's comfortable, premium, this would be the better tire, alright? So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this little review, and have a nice day. Let me know in the comments which are your favorite tires, and have you tried SportContact 7, so the others who are watching this video can rate down there as well, okay? So with that, have a nice day, keep it 100, subscribe to the channel, peace out.